Okay, cool. Hope that everybody can hear me just fine. Hello, hello, hello. Ooh, let me adjust this, sorry. Incoming mic. Boing. Hello, good evening. Thanks, Sapphire, how are you doing? Let me just like quickly set up here. It's been a few weeks since I've actually like done any real streaming. I mean, I streamed last night, but not on this channel. Hold on. Okay. All right. Hello. Hi. How's it going? I haven't been streaming here for a little while because I've been moving, but I'm back. I'm back and I'm gonna do some sculpting, obviously. Hey Ollie, how's it going? Diablo, hi! It looked like I shaved my head. Oh, well, does it suit me? No, I'm kidding. Greetings. Hey again, LTM. NLTM, I'm sorry. Yeah, so, okay, so if you guys don't know what my segment is, if I can even remember everything, just kidding. My segment is basically I'm going to be taking this sphere and I'm just going to mash it around and try and find a whole bunch of shapes out of kind of like a chaotic mess. It's a nice kind of an exercise to do when you don't really, you know, have anything in particular in mind, or you want to just practice shape language and just designing by seeing what you can find in a mess. It's not necessarily something that you would do as a final product. You know, you'd always want to go and grab references to create a final product that actually has some kind of a weight to it and to push your character further. But this is sort of like a really nice exercise to just kind of let go and let loose and just be really artsy fartsy and just kind of like have fun with what you're doing without actually like, you know, feeling like you're constrained to any kind of a already predefined concept of any kind, and you don't have to like feel like you're doing something wrong, because nothing is really wrong in this case. It's just sort of like you're letting yourself see what you already know, basically, because your imagination is built off of all the things that you've already seen in life. You know, you can't imagine anything that you haven't already seen. So to do something like this is just sort of just to have fun, just to see what's in here, and then at the end of everything, and when you're done, you know, having fun sculpting, you can always look at what you just did and be like, okay, well, obviously that hind leg of that creature that I just made is just not so good, so maybe I need to do some more studies on that so it's ingrained up here, and then when you're doing future concepts, you don't have to rely so much on copying pictures, and your visual library grows, right? Of course, you're always going to need reference. That's not what I'm saying. But it is, again, disclaimer, it's an exercise. Hey, Ferrix, how's it going? Yes, Becky. Well, that's my normal schedule, right? Yeah, so yesterday I came back to streaming after I was told it was a whole month I was gone, and I'm sorry it's been so long. Yeah, like I said, like I moved and I'm all settled, well, mostly settled in the new place now, so you can probably hear a little bit of an echo. That's because I've got a very blank canvas of a room to work with here, but we're gonna flesh that out at some point. And yeah, I'm back. Hey, Mr. Whittlestack. Am I saying that right? I don't think I'm saying that. I don't think I'm saying your name right. I'm so sorry. You were streaming. Were you streaming yesterday, actually? Guys, if you don't know, both Olligraph and T.S. Whittleback, if I'm saying his name right, I'm so sorry. They're both streamers here on the Pixelogic channel, so go and give them a look-see. They're very, very talented. Hey, Purchased. You don't think you can handle two? All right, bye, Ferrix. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so if you guys want to join in on this sort of like random sculpting sort of thing, I'm thinking actually I'm gonna ask you guys to give me some keywords today. I'm thinking I kind of want to go in the direction of a dragon today just because I did say that I would yesterday. So if you guys want to give some keywords, then I could gear it towards whatever you guys kind of put down in chat. So like, you know, throw down some elementals, throw down some like some nature-y things, some other kind of animals, whatever kind of pops into your mind. I'll give you like 5 minutes to do that, and then I'll start like sculpting and see where the shapes lead, and then I'll have those words in my head as I sculpt, and maybe something will come out of it. So, do I have formal training? So the big thing, my big thing is if you're talking about with ZBrush, no, I don't have formal training with ZBrush. Or 3D of any kind, of that matter. I had all of my training in 2D animation. So I went to school at Sheridan College, and I got my my bachelor's degree in mostly traditional animation was being taught at the time, and also just 2D animation, like on Toon Boom and things of that nature. They did have like one course that was just like, okay, this is how you rig something, but it wasn't really like, I didn't really learn any of my 3D knowledge from school, but it did allow me to see that where I wanted to go wasn't necessarily the 2D route. So that's why I'm here. Hey Kyle, how's it going? Zombie dragon, unicorns, platypus, ooh. A hybrid animal like Avatar, The Last Airbender. Okay. Oh man, what would like a unicorn dragon sort of thing look like? That could be interesting. Even zombie like. Alright, okay, well, if that's all I'm gonna... 8-headed serpent. You do realize I only have a couple of hours here. Bones. Okay. Yeah, traditionally training before you get into 3D is actually not a bad thing at all. It's not needed, it's not 100% necessary, but I do think that it helps a lot when jumping in to 3D, because when you're thinking about learning, learning art while you're learning a software, it can add an extra layer of frustration and an extra layer of, okay, well, this is another thing that I have to learn on top of all the things that I need to learn with art, right? So if you're just focusing on traditional art first, and you get all your basics down and you're able to draw, you don't have to draw like amazingly, but you understand shape language, you understand the elements of design, etc., then you're going to be a lot better off jumping into 3D, because then you don't have to focus as much on, okay, well, why doesn't this look good, right? Then you have to just learn the tool. You're always going to have to worry about why doesn't this look good, because, let's be real, all artists do that to themselves. Falcor the Electro. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just gonna start moving stuff around, and then we'll see where this lands. You guys did say unicorn. We'll see if we can get that into sort of like, I think that could be actually pretty cool. Oh yeah, and I was saying before, if you guys wanted to join in with all of this kind of stuff, feel free to. Actually, ZBrush is offering a 48-day free trial down below, or is it 40-day? 40 or 48 day? 40 day? Be kind to me, it's been a little while. There's a free trial for ZBrush down below in the information section. So if you want to try it, you always have that option. Okay, let's like lower this to, yeah. So if you ever see that happening, I'll show you exactly what I was talking about, where this starts happening with your clay buildup, and it starts taking away too much of like the other side. You can actually put on your back face masking, which I have right here in my UI, but you can go into brush, auto masking, and then there's a little button right here called back face masking. If you just tick that on, then it'll make sure that anything on the opposite end of the brush will not get affected, even if like the radius is big enough to affect it. 45. I'm sorry. Thank you, Kyle. 45-day free trial of ZBrush you can get in the info panels down below. So definitely give that a look-see if you have not tried ZBrush yet. Okay, before I do anything, I'm actually gonna take, usually I flesh like the head out first, but I think I'm gonna take an overall rough approach to this concept and try like the entire body all at once instead. But in order to do all that, actually, I'm going to just scale this down, oops, by a bit, because then my dynamic brush is nice and good like. Oops, my bad. This could be kind of interesting. A lot of the time, like, you know, to cut shapes out, I actually take like the clip brush, like so, and by doing Control, Shift, and drag, you get your clip brush going, and you can actually get like, you know, you can start chipping away at the silhouette. And I'm kind of thinking almost like, this looks a little bit emu-like right now, but I kind of want to go like a little bit more, like, yeah, a little bit greyhound, but also a little bit emu. But still maintaining that bit of like a horsey kind of a thing. And the thing is, like, when I do this kind of stuff too, like, I stay pretty messy and I stay pretty zoomed out for like a while. So you're gonna get like a lot of that. Hey, Seagull, what's up? A unicorn with Shay's hair. I get it, unicorn dev. An 80s pop star. Oh my gosh. Oh man, yeah. that would be pretty. Actually, immediately when you said 80s, all I'm thinking about is that game Joust. Did anybody play that game Joust? Hold on, let me see. I loved that game. Like, here, hold on, I'll link it in chat here. Has anybody played this? Freaking loved that game. Hey Sav, how's it going? Hey Reggie! Flying snail, yeah, no kidding, right? And that's another thing too, when you're starting your sculpts, don't worry if it looks really, really bad for the first like even half an hour, or whatever, because you're just looking around for shapes, you're just trying to find it. You know, the idea is to start really messy. If you think about a painting, and one of the best ways to do really quick paintings and not worry about a blank canvas is to just kind of like throw down a whole bunch of strokes and then just be like, okay, what do I see in here? And just keep it really messy, really loose, and just keep layering on top of it. And it's sort of like the same sort of approach that I use for painting, I'm kind of bringing into the sculptural world, where it's just like, okay, I'm not going to be as scared about if this looks really bad or not, because ZBrush is extremely forgiving. It doesn't matter if you have something that looks really bad, as long as like, you know, you haven't already put on all of your, like, your details and everything. So if you have something really loose, then it's easy to change. If you put on like a whole bunch of your details and you like really flesh out like a head or a claw, or, you know, maybe like the chest part, and it's just like, oh, this looks so good, then you're like restricted to that one bit of your model, that one bit of your painting, whichever it is that you're working, your art, you're restricted to that because you're not able to let it go. And that's where my phrase, like the phrase that I use a lot, I learned this in school actually, and I haven't ever like let it go, that phrase anyways, is just kill your babies. Not your actual babies, but like, you know, don't hold your art so precious, keep it nice and loose. If something isn't working, throw it away, sort of a thing. So don't worry if your stuff doesn't look good for a first little while. A lot of people get very frustrated that, you know, what they're doing doesn't look good. Don't worry about that. Just keep it up. Just keep it up. Oh yeah, you guys have played Joust. That's awesome. Yeah, it was so fun. It was so fun. Oh, did Avatar actually start as a Joust movie? That's amazing. I wish they would make like, I wish they would, did they remake that game? Because I feel like they need to like bring it back. Sergo, I am Canadian. I am Canadian. Hey, Zomax. Okay, back to Dragon Bird thing. So I'm gonna actually do this thing. I'm gonna try and give it like some kind of a crazy mane. If you guys are here just to kind of see what the end result will look like, then come back in, I'd say 2 hours, and you'll get a better idea of where I'm going with this. But I urge you to stay to understand a process. So I actually don't mind about all like the stretching and stuff. A lot of people ask me, well, how come you're not dynameshing it? Like I only dynamesh it when I need to, and like this right now, because I'm just like pushing around shapes, I'm literally just looking at this exterior line right here. I'm not looking what's on the inside right now. Like I am looking at like the shape that's being pushed around on the outside. So a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, doesn't that drive you crazy? Like that's so ugly. Yes, of course I would get rid of that when I'm starting to actually sculpt. But right now it's just sort of like, well, you're taking shapes and you're pushing them around. Like I like constantly dynameshing this kind of stuff. Like I just feel like I don't need to at this stage, because again, like I am only looking for general like, you know, silhouettes. Oh yeah, no, well, Canada's nice. You should come visit. Just maybe not in the dead middle of winter because it's kind of gross, but you know, whatever. Oh, the lava birds were so cool in Joust. I kind of really want to play this now. Play that now. Like maybe after stream, I'll just go and play a little bit of Joust. I'm thinking in here, whoops, most of that end up being the actual head, and there's like sort of like a feathery mane. Can increase this. So I'm increasing this a lot more than it was before just because we ended up scaling this down a bit, so you have to take that into account when dynameshing your stuff again. Is like how big it is in the actual document as well. What system do I have it for? Oh, you mean Joust? I had it on the PC. I remember playing it on like Windows 95 or something like that when I was a kid. Like my dad had introduced it to me because I was really bored. He used to bring me to work and then sit me down, and I would have to play like this submarine math game because he was just like, well, if you're gonna play games, at least make it like, you know, educational or whatever. That whole like math game phase that came out with like Windows 90. I don't know. I don't even know what it was. But then I just started complaining a lot, and he finally like introduced me to like Joust. I actually don't know. Like there was a PC one, but then there was also a PlayStation 1 version as well. I remember playing on the PlayStation 1 as well. Hey Tio, yeah, no worries, no worries. Good, go do your homework. Ostrich unicorn, kind of, yeah, maybe. A little bit. So who here actually went to go inside, a little bit of a topic change, but who here went to see It? And did you guys like it? Yeah, it's like anytime you say, did you like it? You're actually referring to It, the movie, but typically when you say, did you like it? You're referring to an ambiguous thing, or, you know, something that you had just referred to in that situation, and it's very specific to that situation. But here it's being specific to a thing. Huh. English language. Thinking be pushed out a little bit more. You're welcome, Ferrix. You thought it should have been a Netflix series? Yeah, there is. Yeah, that's that's the thing with that movie. I feel like I like how they handled it. I really enjoyed the movie, and I'm okay with it being a two-part like movie, like just you know, like the older bits and then the younger bits kind of split into two, because in the book what happens is it's back and forth. So I actually really like how they handled it here, but I can see how it could have been, it honestly could have been a mini-series as well, like you're saying. But I like the fact that they did make it a movie, because then you have like the higher budget and the longer time frame to get it done as well. And so then you just get an overall like more, I feel like a more fulfilling end result. I enjoyed it, but no spoilers. Don't put spoilers in chat, though. No chat spoilers. But I just wanted to know, like, if anybody was really into that, because I was really into that. Also, if you guys have any questions on anything that I'm doing, please feel free to ask. And this is honestly, like, the blocking stage is one of my favorite parts of sculpting anything. It always has been. Yeah, Sergo, I think that they might try to do that. Like, I'm not 100% sure. There's a lot of theories that, like, of things relating to other bits of, like, you know, other books from Stephen King, but I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to do any spoilers or potential spoilers. What are we working on? Roy, it's a random sort of like dragon type creature, but like, you know, the chat said a bunch of keywords, and I'm kind of trying to mingle that in. Like, somebody said unicorn, people said feathers, people said bones. So I'm gonna see, like, all of this is right up my alley, so I'm liking it. Oh yeah, Ferrex, yeah, like we talked about last night. I'm not gonna mention it on this stream though, but yeah, they definitely, they changed the source material for the better for that movie, for the movie It. They left out parts that should have never been in there in the first place. So that was, I thought that they handled the movie really, really well. And the art direction was amazing, and I don't even know how they find all of these child actors that are just like so out of this world talented. Like, it's like they're growing them in LA or something. They have like a plant or a farm that they're just growing these children. Actually, instead of that, I think I'm gonna make like a bit of like a main thing. Or like a chest poof? What would you call that? A chest poof. What are those called? The chest poofs? You know, like on cats, how they have like that tuft that comes out of their chest? Does that have a specific word? Hey Shane! Yeah, okay guys, if you don't know Shane, you should definitely check him out. He's also a Pixelogic streamer, and I'm really only sculpting a dragon-like creature because he was sculpting a dragon last night, so thanks Shane. Wubba lubba dub dub! Rick and Morty! Yeah. I only just started watching Rick and Morty, like, when I moved, so like a week ago, I started watching, like I've been binging. I'm almost done season 2, so don't spoil anything. I want to see Pickle Rick so bad. I haven't seen Pickle Rick. Don't spoil it. Yeah, Stranger Things. Yeah, they were really good as well. It's like this whole like phase of like kid actors in 80-esque movies, you know, like or just shows in general, like 80s, you know, it's got that 80s vibe. Like that's getting really like the 80s are like coming back. And I love it. I welcome it with open arms because my favorite everything is 80s. Chris, honestly, I used to not watch Rick and Morty as well. I only just started binging it. It's so good. You should get on it. Is it scary? It's like, it's thrilling. I wouldn't say it's scary. If you're actually, like, if you legitimately have a fear of clowns, then maybe, but it just kind of explores, fears in general. Like, you know, what are people's fears and how do you deal with fears? So that's actually a really interesting thing, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's like terrifying. It's kind of disturbing in some aspects, but I could still sleep. It was not. But then again, I read the book when I was, I think, I read it when I was like 12, I think it was. Yeah, I read it when I was 12 or something. It was not good that I read it that young, but here I am. Oh, a plume. Yeah, there we go. That's like for birds though. Like I wouldn't say that a cat's tuft of fur coming out of its chest would be called a plume, but for birds it's definitely called a plume. You're right. Yes, thank you. I'll just assume it's a plume. It's fine. They farm child actors in LA. That's what I was saying. Like they definitely farm them there or something. Like they grow them in like rooms. I don't know. No, yeah, it's good to have you here, Shane. You haven't seen it yet, but you'll look for him? Definitely. Oh, you had a webinar. Cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Coming out of the theater, watching it, I was like, okay, the book was way worse. Like, after I read it, like, as a kid, like, I was, like, psychologically, like, messed. Like, the book, I feel like it's not necessarily... Like, the reason why the book ends up being a lot worse than the movie is because books, you know, you use your own imagination. What your own fears are applied to that writing. There are no visuals to go along with it, so it's very like psychological in that sense. But then the movie, everything is already applied there, so things that might be really creepy to the people creating it and what they think the audience will react to might not be the same for everyone, but it was still very disturbing. But I did think like the book was way worse. And it's one of those things though, like where I don't think that you could interpret a book like that exactly. Like they did a really good job for what it was worth. I'm gonna lower this a bit. Doesn't need to be so high res. Hey workshop, how's it going? Do I need a hug? No, I needed a hug maybe when I was 12. Now I just feel like I'm a very, very disturbed human being. It's okay. But I can definitely tell you when I was a kid, I had a lot of nightmares. it was definitely the scariest Stephen King book that I read too, because like I read quite a few Stephen King books, and that was definitely the scariest one. But it was also the most like messed, like it there was things in it that just didn't need to, no, it just didn't need to be there. It was like the definition of excessive. I know they did like a re-release of his book as well, and I'm curious, like I'm really curious to know if they left certain scenes in there or if they like purposely like nixed them. Hydro, yes, Dan, probably. They're just hanging upside down in like these vats. They're just growing these like child actors to star in 80s like films. See, the real, what they really are, they're just a bunch of androids. You're such a good person. Next. All right, see ya, Sergo. Thanks for stopping by. Same with you, Look. All right, I've been talking too much about it. I'm sorry. I really want this to be like whoosh up a lot, because then that'll really. This is what I mean by like I absolutely don't care about like moving stuff around and squishing it around, because all of this is gonna like change anyways. I just kind of want to make sure that I'm getting like a good overall shape. And like I had said before, like I'm looking at the outline, the silhouette of the character. I'm not looking at like anything else. But this can come up. Kind of getting like a little bit of a turkey vibe. Right. And of course, yes, we'll get some wings in, even though you guys know my previous streams where I try to do wings, it's always just never finished because wings take freaking forever. But here we do. Here we do. Here we do. Get that little like shoulder joint right there. No music, you can't Oh yeah, it's there, but it's like really quiet because I get a lot of like DMs from people being like, "Can you not have music in your thing?" I'm like, I gotta listen to something though. I'll go crazy if I don't have anything to hear. I need to hear things. Yeah, no, the original TV series miniseries is not good in my opinion. Anyways, some people actually like it. I do not. Do you know how to export a double sphere matte cap from ZBrush? Uh, export it to what? Like just as a, like, do you want to just save it as a material? Like a ZBrush material? Or what exactly are you trying to do, Seagull? Oh yeah, the ZBrush Summit is coming up really soon, guys. If you're not able to make it, like me, to the event in LA, do not fear because there's going to be live coverage on this channel right here, and you can come and hang out with me and a bunch of other people that are not going to be able to actually like make the LA trip this year. But it is highly recommended. There's so many good presentations. I tuned in like for the past 2 years to the ZBrush Summit because that's the only time that I actually knew about it. But now I know about it, and now I always tune in. So should come hang out. Come hang out. The music drowns out the inner voices. Oh, you know me so well. The voices made you do it. So, if anybody knows, bat wings are very much like fingers. Like they actually just have fingers. So when you're doing wings, treat like the actual like prongs of the wing like you would phalanges, aka like your bones in your fingers, because that's technically what it is they're flying with their hands. And dragon wings are very much like bat wings a lot of the time is what they're based off of. Oh, thanks, Josie. Welcome. Yeah, or you can watch it on ZBrushLive.com. That's another one as well. There might not actually be a delay as well because I know ZBrush, like Pixelogic, likes to give out prizes during the summit, so it's actually imperative that you don't have a delay on your stream to actually like get some of the timed ones. So if ZBrush Live has no delay, then you should hang out there for those things. I'm sorry, I'm always like so focused when I'm doing Z-Sphere stuff because I'm just like, get it in the spot, please. Yeah, I should probably keep it up. But then, like, kind of want to... Wait, where's that? Oops. Come on, show. No, it doesn't want. Okay. Pro tips if you want to win. Exactly. Exactly. Sign up for Twitter if you haven't already. Follow Pixelogic. And then when they do those Twitter questions, you'll have a chance. Those are you gotta be swift. I know, I don't know if Mort is in the chat tonight, but he won one of the last ones that were happening. He got a Mobile Studio Pro from Pixelogic. That was pretty cool. Everybody was gunning for that thing, but the swiftest wins. Okay, overall that should be fine, and then we'll get that down. So if you want to get rid of, when you're using Z-spheres and you want to make sure that your adaptive skin remains the way that 4R7 used to do it, where it was just subdivisions of 1, 2, or whatever you actually used to put it as for the adaptive skin, just make sure that you actually take down this Dynamesh resolution bar, and then immediately once you put it to 0, it will assume the legacy version of adaptive skin creation. I guess not legacy, but like the other way of doing it, where it's just like the basic subdivision levels. So I typically do that because I'm not really looking for a Dynameshed version when I'm doing this. I'm just kind of looking for a really, not that one, delete that, append this one, there we go, because this is really all I'm looking for here. Yeah, but it's got sub Ds. Yeah, that tablet. Everyone was gunning for that tablet. So I'm gonna fix like this whole bit right here, because this is very wrong. This is very, very wrong. Fix all of that. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Wow, we've only been doing this for 50 minutes. I feel like this has been way longer than 50 minutes. I'm in like hyperdrive today. But now that I said that, I'm just probably gonna like slow down and then not actually finish anything. Surprise! I am not a fan of how this is looking right now. So let's get that. And then that would actually be sort of like an attached skin thing. So all muscle would come out of here, so we could play with the straights in the back bit. Okay, let's do a quick Dynamesh. And also, if you're working really low res and you don't mind all the stretching and stuff, you notice how like it actually leaves behind some like weird funky lines, and I actually use that to my advantage when I'm sculpting things from like, you know, concepting from my head, because then you could think of like, you know, muscle structures or, you know, unique looks and shapes that you might not have thought about on your own. Is sort of like, I guess, as Bob Ross would say, happy little accidents. Happy little trees. If you want to be a true pro, say every accident that's there is intentional. Because being a good concept artist is embracing the accidents. I don't know if that's actually 100% true. I'm just kind of like BSing right now. But according to what I said, that means I'm doing it right. No, I'm so kidding. All right, so here I'm gonna look for that negative space that is very, 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 like, almost minimal in this area. I want to do a very, like, how do I say it? So a taper, right? So if you're seeing what I'm doing, like the very, like, you know, small to big, small to big, small to big, that's usually a thing that I do in order to draw your eye faster. So a very sleek character will have a lot of very, like, small at the points that want you to start your eye going fast, and larger where it wants you to slow down. So when you see something tapered, very, very small, your eye is immediately drawn there and then pushed into a larger space after it. So that's why I do a lot of, like, tapers, because the small bits are almost sort of like a chokehold. So if you like a choke point rather. So if you kind of imagine water as your eye going through a hose, the wider the hose with the same amount of water, the slower it will go. But the thinner the hose is when the water is going through it, it's a lot harder and stronger and faster when it's coming out. Like, the pressure is more, so it's going faster. It's kind of the same idea with your eye. Is the larger it is, the more your eye can relax and chill, whereas the small points will shoot your eye from point to point. So saying that in action, right here, your eye relaxes, but this is where it gets shot up really fast. You don't spend a lot of time looking at this, but you spend more time looking at the larger areas because you've been pushed in by the smaller directional cues. Sorry if I didn't explain that very well. I'm still working on finding a way to explain that better. But remember, tapers are your friend. Tapering. Use them as arrows. Some human feet? Yeah. Human feet would probably help this a lot. I don't know what I'm thinking. Hey Victor, how are you? Oh, don't worry, Shane. Yeah, you can post your stuff here. That's totally fine. I don't mind. I honestly don't mind. Everything you do should be intentional. Will it be a fluffy unicorn? I don't know if it's gonna be a fluffy unicorn or not. Oh, Shane, do you also kind of like apply that sort of a thing to your works? I can see it as well. Some people, so depending on your style is like how extreme you apply that sort of like a the theoretical approach to your designs. I actually only recently realized that I was doing it because I started having to explain my thought process behind this sort of stuff to people. But it kind of like came with just doing this a lot and sort of like having some sort of like an aesthetic. So depending on what your aesthetic is how extreme that those transitions will be a lot of the time, and also the type of character that you're creating. Like beefy, muscular things are not going to have, you know, really long, you know, slender bodies and, you know, really thin appendages that, you know, send your eye going really fast throughout it. It'll actually be a lot slower, and that's actually intentional, but the tapers will still be there because it doesn't keep your eye in one spot, doesn't let your eye get stagnant. But another way to apply shape language to the things that you're creating is to think, okay, well, is this creature going to be fast, right? So something like this looks like it could be pretty quick because it is shooting your eye, theoretically, really fast throughout the entire model. You're going from this point all the way down to the tail and back very, very quickly because of all these really long, sharp tapers. So you're just kind of like, woo, something bigger and bulkier. You're focused on the overall for a longer period of time. So I'm a bit of a weirdo as well when it comes to using a floor. I don't actually like using the floor that comes default. I like to just kind of take like a square and send it down like that, and then kind of use that as like a base floor, just a temporary base floor. And don't forget to always, always, always take your appendages and make sure that there's some sort of like bone going through everything. Like if you have stuff that doesn't exactly look right, think to yourself, well, is it because I'm not exactly dictating that bone underneath? So you can see how I'm like lining everything up here. It's because I'm thinking of the bones underneath. And then how the skin sits on top of that instead of just kind of letting it be all over the place. I'm thinking, okay, well, this has like a bone under there, and that's why it looks so off, is because the bone isn't like in the dead center like it should be. Oh, thanks, Shane. Yeah, I'm just kind of, it's sort of like I have a lot of favorites that I usually default to canine, bird, and reptile. I mean, that's pretty like wide, but in general, I find my defaults are usually like greyhound because of how like sleek and slender they are, or you could think like cheetah as well. And then another one that I go to a lot is like monitor lizard and python. And another one would be like in terms of birds, I usually go like hawk or something like those are usually like defaults, like default shapes that I go to. So a lot of the time I try to like recognize when I'm doing that and I'm like, okay, let's veer away. But for this one, I kind of like, yeah, but you guys said like these things in chat, so I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm okay with this. Right now, because this is an exercise, Tin Kimmy, this is actually all from my head. I'm not necessarily doing this to make it like 100% perfect or anything. When you're doing an actual project, you know, if you're putting something in your portfolio to say, hey, this is, you know, my actual concept work, this is what I can do professionally, you know, that sort of a thing, then you're going to want to use refs and stuff. But this is like an exercise. And yes, I am a bit of a hypocrite because some of these things I do put on my ArtStation, but I always make sure to specify that it is an exercise. It's not necessarily something that I would say, oh, final product, perfect anatomy or anything like that. So when you're doing your studies, don't do it from your head because you're not going to learn anything. Do it from a reference. And this is something that you can do to wind down or just kind of have fun as an artist, because a lot of it you do need to just kind of like break free from the reference and have fun sometimes, because if you don't, you get a little bit stale. You know, it becomes a little bit, you know, redundant doing, you know, copy. You need to be able to just be like, okay, let me be free for a second and then go back to it. All right, good night, Dark Spartacus. Have a good night. Spirit animal, cheetah hound. I would say, DJ, why don't you try to use the ZBrush tutorial, or not, sorry, the ZBrush free trial, and see how that fares in comparison to Sculptress, because they are two different programs. The way that ZBrush handles clay is quite different from the way Sculptress does. So you actually might want to try that if you're thinking about being like doing sculpting professionally. At some point, I would say definitely give ZBrush a whirl, because, you know, we don't really use Sculptress for sculpting in a professional context. Oh, that's so weird. Do you guys see that? It almost looks like a little baby face on the very end here. Oh, that is so weird. Do you see that? Oh, that is so freaky. Oh, I don't like that. That's like some Dark Soul-y kind of stuff. Look at that. Ooh. Part of me kind of wants to go with it. Ew. Do you see that? Oh my god. You thought the baby face was... I mean, yes, it totally was. No, this is what I mean by one of those, like, accidents that happen and you're just kind of like... I meant to do that. Owl face. Oh, man. But it's so weird being like back there like that. Or just like right there. I mean, alright. I mean, why not, right? Why not? Oops. I'm just wondering if that's just a little too... So yep, this is gonna get freaking weird. Actually, that could be... No, let's put that down. And then have all of that sort of stuff coming out from the bottom here. Okay, I'm starting to dig it. I think this could work. This could definitely work, but I think it needs to be like facing down more. All right, good night, Kerbal. Have a great sleep. Thanks for stopping by. If it's a small animal, it feeds on nectar. No, it's very large. I'm thinking this is like a boss. I know everything just kind of like results into creepy, but I want it to be, I have a feeling that I kind of want this to be like a little bit more of like a beautiful creepy. Like I really want like that sort of like super flowy like hair kind of stuff. But it's sort of like fleshy at the same time. Like I'm thinking like this whole bit right here is gonna be sort of like stitched together mouth. Because you guys did say zombie. So I kind of want to make sure. spooky Roman goddess. Yeah, actually, kinda. So anybody excited for Halloween? I usually, like, I haven't actually been doing anything for Halloween, but I think this year I'm gonna do something for Halloween. I kind of want to. I haven't ever actually had, like, the time, but now I feel like I have a lot more time. This horn, like, I think if we're gonna go for it, we're gonna really go for it. This is another thing that I like to tell people is don't be afraid to push your sculpts, like your designs, as far as they are able to go without it looking ridiculous and breaking. Like, what I mean by that is, like, if I hold on. Wait. But how do you take the dynamic off again? I know that they patched that, but what's the new way to take dynamic off? I can't remember. So this would be like something like this could be ridiculous. You know, like that's a little bit too much. Like that's too pushed. Like you want there to be some sort of a balance with your character. A balance in weight. So if I were to take this horn and push it all the way out here or something, then that means I would have to do something absolutely crazy with the other end of the body. But that's not something I really want to do. Yeah, it did. It changed the entire concept by putting the little creepy head at the front. 2 clicks to disable dynamic. Oh, I guess I have to do it with the spacebar. Okay, I have to do it with the spacebar. That's why. Because I use right click, and you can't do that with right click. That's why. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. We get a real Friday the 13th this year? Oh, for real? That's sick. That's awesome. It's gonna be real spooky. When is Friday the 13th? Is it next month? You guys want to see something cool? Wait, hold on. Let's do it here. This is called Curve Quad Fill. It is a brush that comes in ZBrush, and you can get this by drawing. But that wasn't exactly accurate. So hold on. I think when you do curve quad fill, you can take the I remember. Is it in stroke? Snap to surface. Okay, I'll try that. It might not work though. Might not work. Yeah, because it's drawing back there. remember there is. Okay, well, for next time, I'll figure that out again and come back to you. It's been a little while, so excuse me. I know that there is a way to make it not on just the Z plane, but I can't remember right now, so I'm not gonna make myself look like a fool. We're just gonna do this and then manually put it into place because we want this to be messy anyways. But yeah, Curve Quad Fill does this for you, and then you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about like taking a new plane or anything like that and shaping it. You could just kind of draw in the area that you want all of this geo to go. October 1, yeah. Wait, is it actually? So Friday the 13th in October? Oh yeah, it is! Nice. Nice. It's gonna be a scary October. Okay. So because you're using, when we use the Curve Quad Fill, it actually puts it all onto the same, it puts it onto the same subtool. So what you want to do is split the masked points, so then you end up with two separate pieces, because then, you know, unless you want to like merge everything together with Dynamesh afterwards, but I do not. So then I'm going to take the Curve Quad Fill again, one here. Oops. It's okay if it's really messy, totally fine, because we're gonna fix that later. It's just sort of like to get something in place. I'm just gonna split the mask points anyways. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know, because there's only like so much that I can kind of say as I'm doing this kind of stuff. So if you're curious as to what I'm doing, if I'm not explaining something, just kind of like give me a nudge, be like, hey, can you tell me how to do that? Or hey, what did you have for breakfast today? Or hey, what's your favorite movie? I don't know. Whatever questions you might have. All right, good night, Seagull. Have a good night. Have a good sleep. Okay, so this one's gonna be a little bit more tricky, I think. We'll do. Split masked. I kind of want to do a stream in the future at some point where I take, like, I kind of do a realistic, well, not realistic, but like, because nothing that I do is really realistic looking, but something a little bit more like, you know, this style, and then try to stylize it like crazy as well. So I take the same design and do it in 2 different styles. I kind of want to do that. I'd probably do that on my channel at some point, if anyone's interested. Right now on my channel, I'm working on the shark, the business shark. So if anybody's interested in seeing progress on the business shark, you can drop by my channel, or any kind of shenanigans in general, because you know, that channel is absolutely ridiculous. It's much different than this channel, when I stream on my own personal channel. This one I try to explain things to you. I try to give you as much information as I can about sculpting, but if you're looking to just kind of like have fun and all that kind of stuff, then you can come and hang out on my channel, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Very different, so don't be surprised what you see. But if you are interested, it is twitch.tv/acubed, which you can see actually at the bottom here. I'll go for a little spin. I'll go for, oh, hello! Here I am, right down here. So if you wanna see anything to do with my personal stream, you can go over there. Bam! What are my top 3 creature designers? Oh no! That's so hard to answer! Oh, okay. Oh, I don't think I can actually say like a top 3. I'll list just 3, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're my top, you know, like, because I have just so many favorites. And I'm really bad with names as well, so it's like I'm really only like gonna be saying the ones that come to mind right now, and I would have to say some of my biggest inspirations for creature stuff would be, one, Anthony Jones, just because like I've been looking at his work since like forever, which is Robot Pencil, if you guys know him. Another one is actually Creature Box. They basically created the Ratchet and Clank look. They're freaking amazing. I love all of their critter designs, and something you're gonna see, like you're gonna notice with like my favorites is that they're all very, very, very much focused on the aspect of shapes, just finding those basic shapes and then growing from there, because that makes such a striking sort of design, like right off the bat, where you're just looking at it, you're like, I get it, I freaking get it, and that is badass. And all of like the little details that they put on afterwards, it just kind of like helps sell it. And then obviously I'm gonna have to say Geiger, HR Geiger. So those are 3 of them, but there are so many more that I like. It's like it's so hard for me to just kind of be like, oh yeah, just these 3. What's my favorite idea? What do you mean, Eris? Do you mean my favorite thing that I've come up with, or somebody else's idea, or... It's very, very broad. Where would I like to travel? Iceland! I want to go to Iceland! It looks freaking amazing! Please, let me go to Iceland. I can't afford the trip yet, but it's gonna happen at some point. Go to Iceland! I love anywhere that has like volcanoes. And I remember when I visited BC, I was just so stoked to go and see the volcanoes and stuff there. That was amazing. I love mountains, mountainous areas. Anywhere that I can feel very, very small and humbled. I feel very inspired when things are bigger than me, and I can see like the scale of everything and just feel insignificant. I know that sounds insane, but there's something about feeling humbled in nature that just makes me want to strive for more. When I feel like, you know, all there is flat ground and buildings, and I don't know, I just seeing really big things, really beautiful things that nature can create. I'm just like, well, dang, son. Let me get there. Let me get to your level, Mother Nature. Oh, thanks, Ollie. I appreciate it. What's my favorite movie? My favorite movie. Oh, no. Oh, that's another thing that I'm just like, I have so many favorite movies. How did you do that? I'm gonna say like my most recent liked movie is It, because I've been talking about it. Been talking about it for like half of this stream. And a lot of it's to do with the fact that I watched it, or I read the book when I was really young, and I just really like what they ended up doing with the interpretation this time and the art direction and everything. It's just like, it's so brilliant. But favorite movie, oh my gosh. I really like the second Lord of the Rings, the Twin Towers. Or the Two Towers, sorry, the Twin Towers. Ah! Okay, sorry. Yeah, totally my favorite movie, the Twin Towers. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna ban myself right now. That's calling for a ban right there. Right there. Just ban me. Just end it. I don't deserve anything. But yeah, it's one of those things where I just have so many movies that I really like, and it's just like, oh, but like, what can I even think of? I can't think of anything. Now you're putting me on the spot. Favorite movie? I should just like write this sort of stuff down and memorize it for a generic question hour. Yeah, Iceland, it looks so beautiful, right? It is on my bucket list as well, DJ. #1 place to go as well. Yeah, I think it's a lot of people just want to see the beauty of it, right? Because you see all these pictures online and you're just like, what in the actual? So I'm just kind of like, okay, well, I'm gonna get swole as hell, and I'm just gonna go ham on Iceland. I'm gonna hike everywhere. I'm gonna hike the whole thing. No, probably not, but I want to see it. I want to see it real bad. No, see, workshop, you shouldn't be surprised though. That's what I was saying, is I have so many favorite artists that I don't really want to put like a top 3. Like, I wouldn't say they're like my top 3. They're just the ones that come to mind immediately. There are a lot of artists that I'm inspired by though. And you should have a lot of artists that you're inspired by. You shouldn't just kind of like pick a few and just be like only looking at only those few artists, because then you'll become them, right? Like, it's sort of one of those things where if you want to develop your own style, you look at a lot of people's stuff. And also real life. Real life is a big one. This creature already has feet. Yeah, sorry, Jarl. Make a chat command. Favorite movie? Oh my god, I know. Dang. Yeah, Iceland is not like super cold though, from what I hear, and it's not like it doesn't get like extremely warm either. So it's just kind of like moderate. I have a bunch of friends that have gone to Iceland during the winter time, and they say it's freaking awesome, especially with the northern lights and everything. So this doesn't look exactly right because the bone is kind of doing its own thing. It's going all over the place. So we're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that bone. We're gonna fix your bone. Going to the doctor. Going to get a cast here, buddy. You gotta get this fixed. This is not appropriate. This is bad. Okay, bye Shane. Have a great night. Thanks so much for stopping by. Guys, if you don't know who Shane is, please go and check him out. He's also a streamer on Pixologic here, and he's very talented. He also has his own course, all that kind of stuff. Drop that real good. Go check him out. He's awesome. He was streaming yesterday, I think. Yes. Oh yeah, 2 weeks from now, so I'm excited too. It's gonna be good. Did I go to an art school? I went to first I went to a high school dedicated to the fine arts. So I learned how to paint, I learned how to draw, all that kind of stuff. And then I went off to a, like in high school, it was like, I didn't have like any elective courses or anything. It was just like art sort of a thing. Without any like instruction, it was sort of like, here's some tools, go and do your thing. So it was kind of like, well, I'm forced to do art. So it was a lot of traditional traditional stuff that I learned there. And then I went into 2D animation, which they did have like a 3D course, but it wasn't anything that I do now, sort of a thing in college. And that was at Sheridan College in Ontario. And that was good. Like I enjoyed going there, but I did not become an animator and I didn't stay in traditional mediums. I just kind of realized that I didn't want to do that after a while, but I can't say that I'm mad that I took a traditional course over, you know, a 3D course, because I was able to really focus on the things that, you know, I needed to in order to build a stronger foundation of art, I guess you could say. So I wasn't really, like, as I was saying earlier, I wasn't bogged down with like having to learn programs or anything while I was there. It was very much like, okay, well, you know, you want to get good at animating, you want to get good at drawing, draw. You want to get good at art, just do it, sort of a thing. It wasn't jump into any 3D stuff. But I'm glad that I found ZBrush, because now I do this professionally and it is a lot of fun. I still draw, but yeah. And I also paint. I actually do paint overs of the sculpts that I do. So I like to incorporate them both, painting and 3D sculpting. And ZBrush is actually really great for that as well. So with this, in order to tie this into the other stuff, I'm actually thinking of taking these bits, and first I'm gonna Dynamesh them though. Hold on. Ooh, okay, hold on. Let me make sure that ZBrush or OBS, that OBS has the priority here. Don't want us to crash. Why do I use snake hook instead of move? The classic question. Okay, so the reason why I use snake hook is because it goes really fast. It's just really, really quick. And the move tool is great for precise details and things like that. But when I first started using ZBrush, as you've probably, you know, been able to gather from the stories I've been telling you about my my learning experience, is that I didn't have any proper training. And so one of the things that I actually picked up first when I picked up ZBrush was the snake hook tool, and I thought that was the way to move things. Even though there was explicitly a move tool, I still decided that snake hook was the way. So me being the tool I am, I just kept using snake hook, and now it's kind of just one of my defaults. So I've learned to use the snake hook tool in a way that is very similar to the move tool, except exaggerated. I wouldn't recommend that everybody does this because it is a very finicky tool, but I've used it for so long now that I understand how it works. It is good for creating things that need to be like, you know, fangs or hooks of that nature, but I just kind of like use it in a general sense because I know how it's going to turn, how it's going to push things and all that. But you know, honestly, if you want to try it out, I would say, hey, try it out because it is a lot of fun to use. But the move tool is your general moving device. Yeah, exactly, Kyle. So when I do my paint, like when I do concepts, a lot of the time I actually like to just, even if it's like a really rough, crappy sculpt, like I could take something like this on an angle and then I would just kind of like go into Photoshop afterwards and be like, okay, well, you know, at least now I have like all of the basics all down there and I can just grow from that. And it actually, you know, if you do a quick BPR of it as well, then bam, you've got like some shadows as well, and you're able to just kind of like start blending out stuff. And you know, the further you go with your sculpt, the further you can go, like, you know, the less work that you have to do when you're doing a paint over. But the thing is, like, as long as you have your shapes down, then it's just like, oh yeah, no, this is great. And for me, because I'm such a spaz, it's actually nice for me to start my concepts in ZBrush a lot of the time. Sometimes I do like quick sketches in you know, on a piece of paper, or and then like, you know, scan them in, or I do quick like doodles in Photoshop, and I'm like, you know, they're not like fantastic or anything like that, but I'm just like, okay, well, I kind of like where this is going. I kind of want to, you know, start sculpting it, and then I would take that drawing and then I would sculpt it and start, you know, changing concept like fluidly, and then go back to Photoshop and paint over it and stuff like that. So it's like a mix of things. I feel like, you know, because it's so forgiving, it's one of those things where even if you don't have like an exact pipeline, it's the fact that you can just keep going back and forth from these two programs. It's like, it's nice, and you don't have to worry about, you know, being right or wrong or anything like that. It's just like, oh, if you can get this looking good, then who's to tell you, like, you know, you're cheating or whatever. Like, I don't find painting over a model cheating. I find it efficient, right? So that's just it. Because if you're you know, if you're not a good artist, people are going to be able to tell even if you're painting over a model, right? Like, it's you either know what you're doing or you don't. It's like saying, it's the same as saying somebody who is really good at sculpting but can't draw, and then they start, you know, drawing something that they don't know what they're doing. But if they do know what they're doing, they're going to have a general idea, and the idea is what matters. And so if somebody can't draw, but then they sculpt something and then do like a quick, you know, paint over of it, or a quick like composite, that's not technically cheating. Like that shouldn't be considered cheating, right? And I actually hear that a lot, is, oh, well, you cheated. It's like, what do you mean cheated? You're just doing it faster. You either know your stuff or you don't. Hotkey reference PDF anywhere in ZBrush. I'm going to try free trial. I want to be prepared as possible. Yes, ZBrush does. I don't know exactly where it is. I think they have like a whole manual with that kind of stuff. DJ, if you go on to, oh my goodness, what is it called again? It's been a while. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Oh my gosh. One sec. Kyle, help me out here. What's the tutorial place? The ZBrush tutorials. ZBrush Learn? ZBrush something. I'm so sorry. I'm like drawing a blank. Z Classroom, there it is. Thank you. I would die without Kyle giving me these links. I have the worst memory. But yeah, Z Classroom is super helpful. I've learned when I did start, learning online after messing around in ZBrush for like a year on my own, and then like, Z Classroom I found, I was just like, oh my goodness, yes, there it is. And I learned a whole bunch, and they revamped the whole thing too recently. Well, not too recently, but relatively recently. So if you haven't been there for a while, go and check out their site. It's got a whole bunch of new stuff. Very, very helpful. Do I still draw a bit? Yes, I do. I love drawing. I actually really, really enjoy drawing. I have my sketchbook right here. I can show you tiny bits. Tiny bits. One sec. I actually draw more people than anything in my sketchbooks. But yeah, it's just like, I have, this was from last year's Inktober actually. This is like the only drawing stuff that I have for right now anyways. It's like last year's Inktober, which this year I'm gonna be taking part again. That didn't show anything. But yeah, it's just like, hey, look at me. But yeah, that's sort of like stuff that I do. I do drawings and stuff. Like, I'm not like the best at drawing or anything, but I find it a lot of fun trying to find like some more examples of recent stuff that I did. There's a lot of just like scribbles on here when I was like on the train, and then I wasn't able to actually like draw anything, and so it's just like all messy. But yeah, it's just like, here's some recent ones that I like posted on my Instagram. So I draw. I still draw. It's very relaxing for me. But came from drawing, now I'm here. Oh, thanks, Ollie. I'm alright. I've been drawing much longer than I've been doing 3D modeling, though. Okay. It's very hot in here. Apologize, I'm already sweating, and we have 2 more hours to go. Oh boy, I'm gonna die. I can't wait until the winter time and I'm able to open the window. So right now it's like hotter outside than it is in here. The ridiculous 30 degrees here. All right, so now we've got a bunch of that. Dedicated, yeah. I would say it's more of like I feel like, to me, it's become sort of a lifestyle, right? Like if I'm not creating, like I feel like if I'm not making something every day, I go a little bit stir crazy because it's become such like an ingrained part of my life where it's just like I've been drawing, or I've been sculpting, that it's just like if I'm not doing that, I get antsy and I'm just kind of like, wait, I need to like, let me do something though. And so if you can kind of get yourself to a point where you're just kind of just drawing something every day, it doesn't matter if it's good or not, just just do something every day, or, you know, do a quick sculpt, you know, even if you don't post it or publish it or anything, if you just don't show anyone, it doesn't matter. As long as you're doing something, that's honestly the most important part, is to just, you know, be active, be doing something every single day. Even sketching, just crappy sketching. It doesn't need to be amazing, but you'll find the more you do it, the more you just kind of get invested into it, and then you realize, oh, I didn't do that today. I need to. I don't want to feel bad about myself. It snowed in Edmonton? Wait, what? What? We should draw more. Ollie, it's easy. Just grab a scrap piece of paper and just do a doodle every day. Okay. I am actually going to... I think I'm gonna do some... in there, where it is. There it is. Hello. I love these the IMM primitives. I abuse this now. This is new with 4R8, and I just love the fact that I can just the massive balls on the screen. I mean, what? Sorry. Woo, big spheres. And it's really useful for what I'm about to show you as well. So I actually like to start creating holes and stuff, like organic holes in wings or anything else of the like, just by just randomly sculpting out a bunch of shapes like so, splitting them off, and then turning on live boolean, making sure that this thing, whoops, hold on. Ah, crap, I'm doing the thing again. Back up. Oh, did I select the right one? No, I didn't, that's why. Where is it? This one. This one's down here. Okay, my bad. This one needs to go below. Bingo. Nope. Oh my gosh. I'm embarrassing myself. Hello. Is this the right one? Yes, it is. There it is. Okay. I had the wrong one selected. I was just like, oh no, why me? Okay, so yeah, you always have to make sure that the right subtool is selected when you click start. Otherwise, you look like a fool. But yeah, you can see how once you start your booleans, you can actually get some crazy shapes that you start like implementing in here, and then you can just create, like, you know, turn the boolean into an actual mesh, and you're good to go. So let's not make this hole like too big. Do something like so, and then duplicate that. Art shaming. Hey Skippy, thank you. Doodle. Ah. Hey Haz, how are you doing? Hey Soda. Massive balls out of nowhere. Yeah, it's great. Thank you, Josu. It's got a little tiny baby head on the front part. Got a little baby head. Should I just keep doing this one? Yeah. Or should I? Yeah, not yet. Make sure like these are up above here, so they don't get in my confusions. What? Wait, what? Why? Why? Oh. Oh. Yeah. Okay, that's why. Is this the starting one? No, that's not the starting one. This is the same problem I just had before. Always put this on the right starting one, and then you'll be fine. Still not the right starting one. I'm just gonna... I always get confused. Okay, there we go. Much better. No problems. Thanks, Haz. I'm glad you like it. And if you click inside of these holes too, the nice thing about Boolean, if you click on the geo, like on the inside of like anything that's being Boolean, you can actually select the Boolean object. So you don't always have to be like going through your menu as well, which is really, really nice. And I don't really like care too much about like the sort of holes that I'm making either. I'm just kind of just making whatever because I'm gonna end up sculpting on it again. So these can be like my holes for right now. And then in Boolean, you can, wait, you know what? I haven't saved at all. Oh my gosh, you guys. Save if you haven't saved anything that you're working on right now. Telling ya. Hey Tiago, how you doing? Let me just save this really quick. What are the most common brushes I use? The ones you should familiarize yourself with before you get anything done. Okay, let me just quickly Boolean this stuff and then I will let you know. Oh, whoops, okay. My bad. Okay. Okay, this should not be start up here. The start should be this one. Let Let me just... Okay. That's better. That's better. Okay. And then you can turn... Yeah. Then you can turn all of these back on. And I'm going to turn these off. Because now we're going to have our mesh appended in again. Bingo! Booleaned. And that's one mesh. So now I can get rid of these. Go! Get, delete, delete. Yay! Now we don't have to worry about anything else. And now we can start working with this to get cooler, better shapes. Save reminder, yeah! Okay, so the brushes that I use the most, I hotkey my brushes. You can see I don't actually have my brushes anywhere on the canvas because my UI, I actually personally prefer to have as much screen real estate as possible because of the nature of my workflow. I like to just kind of go nuts and go ham with my sculpting, so I like having like a really big space. The actual brushes, I hotkey them to my keyboard from 1 through 0 are my hotkeys for my brushes, and I'll run you through some of them right now. What I have on 1 is a clay buildup. So I actually love using clay buildup like crazy. Hold on, sorry, it tabs out and then I lose pressure sometimes with my tablet. But clay buildup, you can get a lot of like interesting shapes like that, and it just kind of like keeps building on itself, so you can keep going out and out and out as much as you want. And it's good in the negative sense as well. You see me doing a lot of like stuff over here with clay buildup, building forms with it as well. It's very, it builds very quickly though, so if you don't want it to build quickly, you can turn the Z intensity down. Another thing that happens that people I find that like quite a few people actually like to do is use the, I don't have it, okay, I forgot to put it on my hotkeys right now, but it's clay tubes. So clay tubes is another really good one, and that one, it stays on the same level. It doesn't actually build up onto itself, so you can get a lot of like, if you want to build slower your forms, if that's like how you like to think about sculpting, then that might be better for you. That sort of a thing is actually really good to make like scales and things that do a lot of like overlapping, that sort of a thing. So you can get that from that brush. If you turn an alpha on with your clay tubes, like let's say you put it onto square, then you can get like, you know, different shapes for your buildups. It's interesting to actually do like alpha buildups with this, so you can get some cool textures that all kind of like are very level. But yeah, it doesn't actually like build onto itself. It all stays onto the same plane. Number 2, I have damn standard. So damn standard is mapped to my 2 key, and that like draws out your lines, sort of a thing. You can get like some sharp lines that way. Holding Alt, you can get some sharp lines in the opposite direction. So you can see me cutting out a lot of like details in like hair and, you know, just general like, you know, where the mouth is gonna go, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I like to actually draw directly on my model with the Damium standard. So if I like took this sphere, for example, right here, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to start building a face sometime, or, you know, whatever, I would just kind of be like, okay, well, here's where the eyes are going to go. Here's like, you know, the nose. And so it's actually a good tool for that kind of a thing. And then you could take your clay buildup and start building around what you're drawing, sort of a thing. This looks like the Pringles guy, but yeah, you get what I'm talking about, I hope. Hold on, let me delete these. Lots of stuff going on here. And then on my 3 key, I have H polish. And H polish basically just, you know, it levels things out onto a plane. It literally, it just kind of polishes. That's the whole thing with it. And I actually like using H polish more than the other polish or trims or anything like that. Like I still use things like Trim Dynamic and Trim Adaptive and such, but like the thing is H polish I use frequently because you can see it leaves like these planar lines, where if you're using something like Trim Dynamic, you end up just kind of like getting like an overall, like, you know, it's very, very smooth. But I actually really like how this cuts and it leaves like, you know, the harsh lines, because again, I work very shape oriented. And then 4, I have a snake hook, but you don't necessarily need to learn with snake hook. I would say learn with the move, the move brush. So if you click B and then M, you're going to get an isolate of all of your M brushes, your brushes that start with an M. And right here, move is something that you would be, it would be easier for you to like learn how to push things around with move. Snake hook, you could start to learn, but it does push things very quickly, very, very quickly. And also it has a bias on a curve. So it curves. So if you're not used to that, then you might have a little bit of an issue, but you can get used to it. I use it more frequently than the move. And then 5, I have inflate. So that does exactly what it says. It just inflates. So if you want like a general area to be, you know, more bulked out, then just kind of inflate it. I use that for thinner pieces of geo, or, you know, like tapers to get them like thicker in certain areas. 6 I have is the pinch brush. The pinch brush I love so much for stylizing stuff. So what the pinch brush does is I actually use it in a way that creates planes. So you can see me right here, bam, bam. Planes have been created. So I can like, I've actually found that the best way for me to do anything hard surface or anything super like sharp shapes or stylized is to just kind of use the pinch brush. It just really, like, all it does, you can see with the polyframe, is it pulls together the geometry into that one area. It pinches it right there and it becomes very, very dense. So you get that sort of like pinched look. And the opposite, it does the exact opposite. So it actually like makes an indent down. 7 I have as the mat cut brush, which is essentially like the pinch brush, but it's like a damn standard and pinch brush baby. So it's a sharp version of damn standard. It's good for hard surface stuff, but I use it a lot for stylized stuff or hair. I use this a lot for as well. You can download that online if you want, but again, not necessary for learning, but that is one of the things that I have mapped, and I'll just stop there. Like, that's enough. An uninterrupted power supply. Yeah, I used to have one. I have a power. I have a surge protector, at least. That's what I have. But if you know, if the power went out, then I'd lose my work. But at least, like, you know, it's a surge protected computer. You put snake hook from 1 through 8. Oh my gosh, Ferrex. I can imagine, Dan. I can imagine. Yeah, I love the pinch brush. Absolutely love the pinch brush. No problem, Josu? I'm not sure how to say it. I'm sorry. Mega? Gabby. The last one is Macut. If you Google Macut, then you will be able to find what you're looking for. Again, it's not 100% necessary to make good sculpts though. I would say you're, you know, just use some basic stuff to start. Don't go download happy. Like, you know, once you get your own workflow and you understand better how to, I guess, make your own sculpts, it'll be better to then look for specific brushes that, you know, other people will provide, and that will get you further and help you finish things faster. But initially you should honestly learn the basics first, because honestly just having a brush, and then I find that I need to say this because a lot of people are like, wow, you don't have like a ton of brushes, like, wow, you don't have a ton of materials, look at all the materials I downloaded. It's like, well, you don't really need that. You can see like a lot of the time I'm just using like the one material, and I switch back and forth from this one for longer. Like if I'm looking at this for a long time, then I switch from this one to usually like this one to ease my, like, it just like relaxes my eye a little bit. But the reason, actually, I'll tell you what these materials are. These are from Glauco Longi, because I get that question a lot as well. These ones are really awesome. You can check him out. And I'm just gonna take like a breather. I'm just not gonna talk for like maybe 5 minutes just to relax my throat. Just for fun, crew. Just for the Pixelogic channel. So I don't know when I stopped using symmetry on here, but in order to get that back, you can actually just go down into the geometry tab and you can go to modify topology and mirror and weld, and that will mirror and weld along whichever axis you specify, so you can get your symmetry back if you've like done a whole bunch of work on one side, you accidentally pressed X or whatever, and you were like, oh no, but I wanted that on the other side too, and I really like those strokes. Then just go into mirror and weld and you'll get it back. Yeah, I do like to draw as well, Cooper. That's where I actually came from, is traditional artwork. And earlier, I'm not going to show my sketchbook again, but I showed a bit of like what I like to do. I like using both pencil, pen and ink, and markers. Markers not as much, just because they're expensive, but I like drawing. I like experimenting with different kinds of mediums as well. I really like taking both the 3D aspect of like ZBrush and traditional, well, not just traditional painting, but 2D painting in Photoshop, and kind of like smacking them together. Doing some paint overs of stuff that I sculpt. Ash doo-doo doodles. Okay guys, I'm gonna take like a really quick break and I will be right back-arinos. So you can stare at this thing, which needs a lot of work, but we've got it mostly blocked out now, so that's good. And we'll start to do more work on it as soon as I come back. Sound good? Sound good? Sound Gucci? Hold on, I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna turn the sound off. Can I? There we go. No. Yes. Oh, it doesn't seem to work. Okay, I'll just turn this off. Okay, I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Okay. I like opened the window a bit because it's really, really hot in here. So you might hear some vrooms. For good times, right? Vrooms are good times. They got me some more waters. Okay, let's go back. Let's get back to it. Let's get rid of the BRB. Alright, okay, so let's do this. Ding, 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 ding. Vroom vrooms, yeah, I don't know if you actually will because it's a little bit late, but there's a chance. There is. Wait, one sec. There is a chance for the vroom vrooms. Okay, there we go. Much better. You probably hear it. Okay, I'm gonna get back to this. Yeah, there's a lot of soundproofing in this new place. It's pretty amazing. I'm really happy with it. And again, like if anybody has any questions, don't feel afraid to ask me. I'll do my best to answer them. So guys, if you're interested, I do stream on my own channel as well. It's a little bit more spazzy. It's not as like educational based. It's not as like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and answer questions sort of an idea. It's more focused on just like having fun and doing silly things. So if you're interested in that, you can check out my channel, which is like located at the bottom of the screen there. And if you haven't already, give Pixelogic a follow because there's a lot of other really awesome artists that you'll be able to catch here streaming. Vroom vrooms. You'll be able to catch like a lot of other really, really awesome artists on this channel as well. "45 minutes of Kinder eggs." Yesterday was just. This is the result of yesterday's stream. I swear I do art there too. I swear I do. It happens. Right now I'm currently working on something that I started on this channel a few streams ago. It's a business shark. We're continuing him. But it's a lot more like cartoony than this. What software am I using, Gabe? Riel? Freaking Salazar Ferrix 0? I swear, boy. I swear. You know this is ZBrush. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate the plug. Appreciate it. The nostalgia is kicking in. Haven't streamed in a month and people are already nostalgic. Have I used the chisel brush? Can't say I have actually. I don't really use... Oh, chisel brush, yes, I have. So I have my own little thing here that I had started. Oh, okay, it's not the new one. I have to load in my new one that I had done with a whole bunch of people. I have like a bunch of like random like horns and stuff for like it's an insert. It's a VDM brush, right? So I have a whole bunch of stuff that I did, like just basic things that you can just kind of like add in. I like using these default, the default. Ooh, that one looked like a boob. Not as drag, but if you use the chisel as like a dot, then you get like this really strong line. In modify, no. You put on this and then turn down the step. You'll get a burp. There he is. A very strong damn standard if you wanted to. So that's really nice for like really intricate details and things like that. And then using that in conjunction with the continuous stroke, which is like, you know, you can also use it with lazy snap. So if you put on lazy snap in here, turn it to something really high, then anywhere you leave off, your brush is going to continue from that spot. So if you go down into your morph targets and store in morph target, then if you draw, it will always be on the same level as well, which is really nice. As you can see, it's not like layering on top of itself, so you can actually continue strokes really, really effectively that way. Just go back and forth, right? So you can finish your strokes without, you know, worrying. Just go right back over top, fix that, it's fine. See? But you have to have a morph target in order to do that. That's, yeah, so I use that more for like detailing in the later stages and stuff like that. In terms of like adding just quick sort of horns and scales and stuff, I love using VDMs over the alphas because you get like a lot of detail out of it. And also the overhangs are really, really cool. Actually, the first 4 or 8 stream that I did, we made a whole bunch of random VDMs. You can find that on the backlog of Pixelogic streams that I've done. So either in the VODs here on Twitch or on ZBrush Live under my past broadcasts, or on YouTube, ZBrushLive.com rather. Screeching outside. Hey Joker. When you save, are you saving at different stages? Yeah, I don't really like think too much about when I'm saving. I just do a lot of, I usually try to do a lot of saves. If I'm just kind of like, if I'm doing it for a tutorial, I try to do like more saves, like extra amount of saves, because then I can go back and you know, look at that kind of stuff. But generally, it's like I'm not really thinking about when I have to save. Like, I just kind of do. It's important to save. Oh, my bad. Let me just fix these spikies. So many rooms. Actually, let's just completely fill this up. I'll just fix it this way. And I'll resculpt. Fine. Hey Hugo, how are you? Do I plan on coloring this? Probably not, because we only have an hour and a half left, and I just kind of want to like flesh this out more. Yeah, okay, guys, you should go and check out the link that Kyle just posted in the chat, because there's a lot of new artists that are streaming. Like, if you haven't checked out the broadcast calendar, he's got the whole schedule for October up now. Or not October, sorry, he's going to have October up soon, but the ZBrush Summit is up right now, so if you want to see the schedule for that, and also the other presenters that are going to be here as well, all over on ZBrush Live. Pixelogic.com/ZBrush Live, I'm sorry. I'm bravehearting. Ignore me. Just go and look at the link. It's okay. Shh, it's okay. Just go click the link. It's fine. Oh, man. I'm so bravehearty. Okay, the one with the wings boolean and one version without. Usually before I do anything major, like a big Dynamesh, or before I do something where I'm completely replacing parts, then yeah, I do make a save in case something completely screws up, and then I can revert. So that's sort of like something that I think about as well. I freelance my skills generally. How would you cost your time involved, or so that really depends. Also, thank you, Kuro, I appreciate it. I would say it really depends on who is asking for a task to be finished. This is a question that I get a lot about how to charge for freelance projects, and you really have to, like, with your own discretion, you have to kind of look at that, like, okay, well, is this like an independent artist asking me for, you know, a commission to be done, or is this like a studio, right? Like, if it's a studio, they can usually afford more, and you will generally want to charge on a, like, you know, a daily rate or an hourly rate, which is typical for if you're actually working for them in studio. But if you're doing something where, you know, somebody is coming up to you, you know, from Instagram or something like that, saw your post and it's just kind of like, hey, I want you to make this model for me, then it would be in your best interest to maybe do something where you work out a flat rate, you know, like an overall project rate, and give them a deadline and say there's no more revisions after this point. Like, this is what you're gonna get for that specific thing, and kind of like adjust that based on, you know, an independent and what, you know, they could probably afford as an independent. Because if you're charging hourly for, you know, a sculpt, it can end up getting really pricey for something that isn't going to be, you know, somebody who isn't going to be using it for like a studio based thing, right? So you have to like put your own discretion. I could like write like a whole thing on what you should be thinking about and all that, but I'm not going to go like fully into it in the stream. You can gradually remove the strokes, which creates really nice. Yeah, so if you have your morph target with a continuous stroke, you can actually use the morph brush like pre-drag said in chat. You can actually use the morph brush, which you can get right here by pressing the M, the morph brush right here. So if you have a morph target stored, and you've got a whole bunch of lines, by using the morph brush, you can actually erase that morph target. So it'll go back to what it was before in that area. Do I color inside of ZBrush or other software? So depending on like if it's a final model or not, so something like this, if I were to send this for a paint over, typically what I would do is a rough poly paint, and then I would send it over to Photoshop as just like an image, and then I would just kind of, you know, paint over top of it with those colors that I slapped down originally. But if it is for like a full finished model, sometimes I take the low poly and then I do like a quick, like, you know, color on the low poly like inside of ZBrush, and then I export that as like a base to start from. But typically I actually don't. The only time that I really like do a lot of poly painting is if I'm doing like pure conceptual work. That's usually what I do. Difference between trim dynamic, trim adaptive, H polish, flatten. Okay, so I don't know the difference between all of them, but I can tell you what trim dynamic does is it kind of like, it flattens towards a plane. So it's very like, you know, you can see like these are very like sharp edges, so it flattens on like a specific plane, and there's no like curvature the way that it's looking at things. If you go to trim dynamic, then it's just literally going to dynamically view whichever plane you're working on, and it's not going to leave any of those sharp lines unless, like, you know, you're changing planes in a certain area like that. So it's just going to make everything very smooth. Like it's dynamic. And then flatten, I feel like flatten works in a similar way that H polish does, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it's very much like trim dynamic, except as you can see, it doesn't leave all of those sharp lines a lot of the time, but it's very similar to trim dynamic. So I don't know exactly what all of the differences are. Like, they're very, I feel like they're very specific. So if you wanted to just use one, I use trim dynamic and H polish personally. But I'd just say, like, if you really want to know, you could just like play around with them and figure out what works for you. Hey Blands! Yeah, no, the new place is awesome. I'm loving it so much. It's so great. It is so great. Okay, hold on. I keep taking symmetry off by accident. delete lower. Here, no. Wait, let's do what in the frick? You guys hear that? There's a lot of interesting noises though. If I open the window, there's a lot of interesting noises outside in this new place. But it's not like hobo screaming or anything, which is nice. What the hell is that? Can't the world just stop for a second? Don't you see I'm streaming here? Come on. Come on. Please. What are you doing? Okay. So if I want this one, so as you can see, like mirror and weld here, it's actually grabbing that one, but I want it to grab this one. So what you can do is just mirror it first and then mirror and weld, and now you'll have that one. If you want to fix the symmetry. So that's what I wanted to do. And so I did it. Yeah, the vroom rooms are different. The vroom rooms are different in this place. You've noticed the difference in vroom rooms. Oh man. Hey, at least there are vroom rooms, okay? Okay? You happy? You got you some brooms? Oh my goodness, oh, okay, I know why. I turned it off for everything. Dang it. Let me just get this back. Is this here? Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This one's not. Okay, there we go. You're just happy there are vroom rooms? Why is everybody so attached to the rooms? Unbelievable. I was happy that there weren't any. The rooms, it's the sound that the cars make. We've kind of just come up with a name for it. They're vroom vrooms and wee woos. And that one right there that you might hear is a beep boop. It's a guy with a vroom vroom saying, "Where did AQ go?" Hey, Artificial, thank you. I'm glad you like it. All right, good night, Kyle. Thank you so much for your help. I'll remember that it's Z Classroom, and I'll remember to tell people to go to ZBrushLive.com in order to check out the ZBrush Summit stuff, and also the other presenters for ZBrush Live. I have like focused angry face syndrome. It's a birth defect and I can't help it. Do you hear it? It's the sky vrooms. It's the sky vrooms. Oh, now we don't have just... Yeah, we just have... Please do not hate on my birth defect, okay? You judgmental people, I have resting anger face. I can't help it. Rather not resting, but focused angry face. I can't control that. I feel like we need to get like some feathers or something going on here to help with all of this. Like maybe some feathers that go over top here. I feel like they're, ooh, hello, no. We need to get something going on here. Probably. So I have a plan. I'm just gonna shape a few of these. Then I'm gonna lay them over top of each other, and then I'm gonna mesh them together. A flying Zonda. It was a very long room. It's because it was a sky room. It was sent from the heavens. It's the room god, okay? Just everybody take a second to pray to our room Lord and Savior, the sky room. Okay? Okay, we good. Hey, drummer, how's it going? Your work relationship? Wait, what? What same problem? Oh, the, yes, resting angry face, or focus angry face. I'm very unapproachable in public. I feel like if I'm just standing around, I look like I'm gonna, like, hurt somebody and I don't actually intend it. I get really deep in thought. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you so much, Artificial. I really appreciate it. You should check out the other people that stream here, because if you're jaw dropped by me, then you will be jaw dropped as heck by some of the other people that stream on this channel. Like, I'm not even kidding you. They have more experience than me, and you can learn even more from them. So definitely go check them out. You'll love it. Oh my gosh, no, don't go and look at the freaking... The Animorph sculpt is the pinnacle of embarrassment of my whole career. I am the garbage trash chute of the CG community, so welcome. Welcome to Dumpsville. That's my Discord. If you want my Discord, I'll give you guys a quick invite to the Discord. One sec. Let me get you... Here's an invite to the Dumpsville. And you can come and talk nonsense with us after the stream if you wish. And if you want to check out my personal channel, you can check out that here. You can follow me. I stream on Tuesdays for now on that channel, and that will soon be ramped up to more streams, but for now just Tuesday as I get settled in the new place. Hello, rooms. So yeah. Blessed are we that we experience the sky room. Let us be rained upon by all of the sky rooms. Oh my gosh. Skyrim, where dragons are vroom vrooms. I feel like there was a mod in Skyrim where they replaced all of the dragons with cars. Vroomhalla. Oh my gosh. All the tunes are getting done? That's awesome, drummer. It's great to hear. And trains. Yeah, I'm glad that I don't have any like train noises near me. That would drive me nuts. Yeah, man, that's like there's so much to do with ZBrush on the creative channel now, and it just keeps growing. It's really, really great. Ugh. I hear another sky room. Praise be us, and let us be rained upon by all of the sky rooms and their chemtrails. Please, blessed me. Bless me with your chemtrail goodies. Woo, 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 woo. I say chemtrails and then immediately Matt Thorup appears. I only wish. I only wish. It's like the way to summon Matt Thorup is to just kind of start talking about conspiracies a whole bunch. He will just like appear out of nowhere. Right, I was gonna keep doing this this stuff. I totally forgot about it. There's one with Thomas Tank Engine. Thomas the Tank Engine! Oh my gosh. I wish I could play that on stream. I wish I could play that, like, that Snoop Dogg remix that goes over top of all that. You're gonna record all the rooms and stack them together and send it for a host noise? Oh my god, that would be the worst. That would be so obnoxious. Oh my gosh, that Thomas mod, that's horrible. It's horrifying. Oh, I'm glad you like the background music. Some people actually complain to me. They're like, can you just get rid of the music in general? I'm like, no, I need to listen to something. Let me listen to chill music. They're like, yeah, but it puts me to sleep. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It needs to be copyright free. This. Beep. Jeez, rooms are angry tonight. They're so angry. Oh, please, don't hurt me, rooms. Oh God, please. Yeah, that's, you get it, artificial. No worries. Not everybody gets the A cubed things right off the bat. But yeah, my initials are AAA. Facial rig I posted on social media was real time in UE. Yeah, it was the one that I posted on Twitter. It was freaking crazy. It's insane, isn't it? It's so good. Yeah, there is no sub button. I don't have a sub button yet. Hopefully, I'm hoping that I can stream enough to actually get one at some point, but I don't have one yet, so bear with me. I haven't been streaming that much lately, but that's gonna pick up now that I have, like, you know, space to do it, more time to do it, all that kind of stuff. Hey, Seawolf! How's it going, girl? Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I haven't ever seen you on the Pixel channel, but it's good to see you here. Room stack? It would be like a duck army. Oh, it would be, oh my gosh. Or like that B movie. The B movie. Hold on. What is it called again? Oh, I need to find the video. I don't know what it is. Oh yeah, you like jazz. Here, hold on. I don't know. Hold on. I can't find it. Whatever. It's like somebody like took like the B movie, like when the guy is saying like you like jazz, and then he just kind of like repeated it like over and over again, and it just sounded like horrible. Somebody's slapping their thighs outside. Angryfrooms.org. I appreciate it, Seawolf. Thanks for being here. Hey, VPN, how are you doing? How's the stream going? It's all right. I'm trying to figure out like sort of like a feathery thing to do up here. I'm not 100% sure. So, whoops. Just let me select it. There we go. I'm probably gonna get this. I'm gonna dynamesh this, and then I'm gonna start playing around this area right here. Kind of come up. Oh, you found it? I'm not gonna watch it on here because I don't want like any like random YouTube like, you know, silencing things. But yeah, that is just like the worst thing ever. You want to hear like the worst thing ever, just listen to the B movie. You like jazz repeated like 1,000 times. Like overlaid on top of itself. Some sort of a hangar. Yeah, it's normally there's not this many planes. It's weird. In my last apartment, I wasn't near an airport when I was in my last apartment, but there was always like fighter jets and stuff flying overhead. Not on stream though, which was nice, but in like midday there would be like fighter jets and stuff. Just like, First few times was cool, and then it was just like, okay, this is a lot. Alright, no problem, Sealove. Have a great night. I hope you have a really great sleep. I'm sorry I'm brain fighting so much I can barely talk. Blah, blah, blah. We have 45 minutes left, and then whatever we have is whatever we have. The idea, I thought it was a good idea. Yeah, it's weird. A lot of movies exist for weird reasons. I don't actually know how a lot of the time. Non-stop helicopters overhead. Oh my gosh, near a military base. Like, I can't even imagine. I feel like I would probably go crazy if I was near a military base. I couldn't, no. Sorry, I figured it out. Alright, good night, crew. Have a great sleep. Thanks for stopping by. For anybody who's dropping off early, if you want to catch more of me or any more of like just general people who stream on this channel, really great artists that stream here, then follow Pixelogic. Definitely follow them. But if you want more of me specifically, you can go and check out my channel, which I will drop again into the chat for everybody who's ditching right now. If you want to hang out over there, it's every Tuesday for now. Schedule will be increasing later on though. No, I'm not gonna give him big eyes. Like having a little tiny baby face. There's a brush here in slash 2 is actually really great for things like scales or ledging, any kind of ledge marks that you want to do. So I actually use this a lot. I love getting like these sorts of like effects here, or even like inscribings, like using this sort of like this brush. You can get that through your light box. Too much time watching people sculpt and you never end up sculpting anything? Oh no, hell damage. Oh man. Yeah, no, try your best to like balance it, right? Like, you know, as much as I really enjoy you guys like hanging out for these streams and stuff, like try to keep in mind that if you want to improve yourself, it's not just about watching other people. It's not just about watching tutorial after tutorial. You actually have to sculpt. So when I'm doing these things, like I encourage you guys to kind of like sculpt along with me. You don't necessarily have to be watching the whole time. Like you don't have to sit there and be like staring, you know. Actually maybe have me on another monitor or, you know, on a different device while you're doing it as well, because this is sort of one of those things where it's less of a tutorial based thing and more of an exercise. So I'd really like it if like you guys didn't just only watch, but also try and participate by like sculpting your own thing or drawing your own monster, or, you know, trying to play around with shapes in your own thing. Of course, you know, ask questions and stuff, but try your best to like, you know, get involved as well. Really creepy face. Yes, it is. Kind of cute. It's got a little bit of a cute thing, yeah, but it's also mostly just gross. Let me try and dynamish this. That's fine. See the real eyes? Oh, that thing. Yeah, that's freaky. True. Yeah. Hey, Davidson, how are you doing? Glad to be back too. The gizmo? I really enjoy the gizmo, yeah. There's a lot of really cool updates with the 4.8 update though. A lot of cool new tools, which I'm not going to go over all of them right now. But I like a lot of the stuff that they've implemented in the new ZBrush. Okay, so this is not symmetrical, so I'm going to do here and weld. Bingo bango. Now it is. Oh, good. I'm glad you're sculpting along. That's awesome. Porcelain doll head. Ooh, I think it's a little late for that because we only have 30 minutes left. I'm gonna keep it as this weird skull thing that's breaking out of like a head that once was. Awesome, Frontier. I'm glad to hear that. Nice ferrets. That's good. That's good. Same with you, Specky. That's good. The face has to stay on. Awesome. Yeah, it will. I'll keep it there. Yeah, you go. Yeah, it's kind of like a little parasite thing. Okay, I hear you. Hey, LZ, how's it going? All right, here, let's get this a little bit more fleshed out. Infested creatures in Warframe? Oh, yeah? True. Thanks, Flip. I appreciate it. I'm good, Alt. I'm good. I've only got a few more minutes here. The vroom vrooms are you. They have. Yeah, pretty much renamed. Pretty much. Oh, thanks, Zomax. Try the Opera browser? Always on top. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know about that. Neato burritos. Make sure them bones are working. Getting them all straight and stuff. If it doesn't have working bones, then it's not gonna look great. Okay, where's the ground? Here it is. Put this down. Trying this one. Should be back. Is my mic gain super low? You right now? Hold on. Am I quiet? Is this too quiet for you guys? Your speaker volume? Yeah, the reason why I have my my mic set to a gain of like only 70% of what comes in, specifically because I find anything that I play back, just like turn your actual volume like on your end up. anything that I play back, I find if I have the gain up to 100%, there's a lot of like cracking that happens and you hear a lot of static. And I've been playing around to try and like avoid that sort of a thing. But yeah, like it should be okay. It should be fine. Another thing that I'm gonna probably be investing in soon will be acoustic boards, just to put around here, so the echo chills out a bit. There is a bit of echo. This is interesting. Alright, good night AVBN. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. I'm sorry the stream's gotten so quiet. I've kind of just been like trying to wrap up a little bit more of this to get a little bit more of a finished thing by the end. Yeah, just so it looks a little bit more complete overall, because right now it's like really sketchy. But yeah, you guys had said unicorn, you guys said, bones, you said undead, zombie. So I tried to pull a bunch of that in here. Somebody said bird as well at some point. Got a little bit of like that poof that birds. racing chair that has room written on it. Maybe I'll just like embroider it into the back of this one. Of room to finish the stream. I was about to say vlog. Oh my gosh, I've been watching too many YouTube. Too much YouTubes. I'll try putting that intensity up a little bit. There it is. Come on, why can't? Gotta like flatten this area right here. There we go. Simple, 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 simple. Yeah, I have. I've done hard surface a lot, mostly for work. I've done hard surface sketching. I usually don't like taking hard surface all the way to the finish just because of like how technical it gets and like how much time it requires. But yes, I have made robots and things of that nature. It's just right now it's like a lot of stuff is like NDA or like just never got released because the company went bankrupt, so I can't show anything. And I guess like if you want to see something that was sketched that I did that was kind of hard surfacey. Hold on, I'll save this. Something I was sketching for the beta, for ZBrush beta. I'm wondering if I have that here. Let me see. I think this is it. We'll open it and check it out. I'm not 100% sure. And it'll be like the closest thing to hard surface that I'm actually able to show you is the quick like little like, you know, VDM sculpt that I did for, and like, you know, using the booleans, the boolean system and the continuous stroke with ZBrush. So you can get some pretty clean hard surface using just like, you know, the tools that ZBrush provides you. You can see like this sort of stuff that I was able to just kind of quickly throw together just as a, you know, just as a thing, and then you're able to just kind of like put them together, mash them around, and then it looks like something. So that's the closest thing to like finished hard surface that I think I'm actually able to show you guys, because I don't like demo this kind of thing. Sugar Pine 7? What's that? A Sugar Pine 7? I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, that's the closest that I can show you right now, unfortunately. And then like in terms of like, you know, comping and stuff, yeah, well, you guys saw the render and then the grading that I did on it. It's kind of like, yeah. I kind of wanted to take it further too in terms of like a paint over, but then I never really did, because it was sort of like, well, we're just using the beta tools and stuff. I didn't want to go and do a whole bunch in Photoshop and then completely cover up what I did with ZBrush. So yeah. Yeah, it was all made in ZBrush. A murder robot wasp drink. Oh, thanks, Dry Otter. Okay. Will go while you're in production of a product, then what happens to the model? Who owns it? It really depends on who you're working for. It can happen. It happens pretty frequently in this industry, unfortunately. Yeah. In terms of like the model, usually the models do end up being the property of your previous employer. So, you know, when the last company that I used to work for went under, I wasn't able to bring like any of my models with me. It was just sort of like, oh yeah, bankrupt, that's it, you're done, get out. Or rather like locked out, like, you know, nobody was allowed in to get their stuff until they had said that we could. So yeah. Happens frequently enough that you should always have your own stuff at home that you're working on. Oh, okay, I got you. Sugar finds it. I'll check it out, Specky. Okay, so this is as far as I got with this one today. I'm going to do something with it that you all have probably been waiting for, you know. It's something that I like to call industry standard. We're gonna industry standard this model. So if you want to do that, if you want to make sure that your models are up to par, let me tell you that you need to grab the IMM body parts brush, grab the foot, and start doing this, okay? Replace everything with real human feet, but only the IMM version of such foot. Let's just make sure that this is nice and put right in there is now a human foot. Let's just like get rid of this right now. Let's just hide that. Yep. This is better. This is already a huge improvement on the design. Already feeling industry standard. I'm gonna make sure that this is right in there. We don't want any of that to show. Just get in there. Oh yeah. Perfect. Good. Great. Excellent. Okay, now we need to take the IMM body parts and get a hand. They're gonna put a hand, a real human hand on here. Yep, you gotta put a real human hand. Oh, so dainty. This is so dainty. It's like a magician. He's wearing gloves. It's beautiful. This is exactly what you want to do. You know, any of that other stuff, it's not legit unless you have the IMM body parts. Ooh, it's wearing gloves now. Real human feet. And then here, yeah, no, we're not gonna go with that. We're gonna go with a dog head. That's it. That's it. That's what we want right here. Yes. Dog head. Screw everything else. It's better this way. Much better this way. Let's just put it just like, oh, better. Better design. Much better design. 100%. Yep. Now it's industry standard. This is it. This is how you do it. So, please enjoy. Please enjoy. He is the best boy. He's the best boy now. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna just undo these. I'm gonna undo these. To your dismay, I am undoing the industry standard so we can just quickly put this back to normal so we can show you where we were, where we are, all that. So this is the final product right here. I don't know why I have that weird accent. I always do that. There you go. That's what we ended up doing tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was fun. I just wanted to go a little bit crazy with the little squiggles with the hair. But yeah, I had fun doing it. I hope that next week we do some more fun stuff. Something random will come up like it always does. And again, if you enjoyed watching this and you want to see other really talented artists doing their thing in ZBrush, everybody has a different workflow, so you can always learn something new from everybody. Follow Pixelogic here. So follow that little heart up in the corner. You gotta click that, and then you're gonna be notified of anytime anybody goes live. You can see the schedule down below, and if you like ZBrush, give it a chance with the 45-day free trial. If you haven't actually tried it, I recommend it. It's addicting, it's fun, and if you like me, we're gonna go for a really quick little ride over here. We're just gonna quickly grab me and put me down here, right here, so I can do this. Whoop. You see this right here? See this little bit? This little, that's me. That's my channel. So if you wanna go and check that out, you can. We do a lot of stupidity over there, but I mean, we also do sculpting. So it's different from this channel by a lot, but feel free to come and check that out if you wish. We also have a Discord if you'd like to hang out with us in the Discord. I dropped the link in the chat as well. And love all you guys. See you next Tuesday and Wednesday, and maybe sometime in between if I'm feeling it. Good night, have a great sleep, and